Not at all. Not at all. Peace, peace. My name is Cymarshall Law. You are now in tune to the Cymarshall Law Show. Coming live and direct. We got my brother, the man, the myth, the legend, DJ Iris.
Bless, bless.
Yo, brother. Thank you for coming through. You know, it's crazy. My guy Broadway today, he hit me on WhatsApp. He was like, yo, you never downloaded the album you said you wanted. And the album I wanted from him was Operation Garden State. And that's how I came to know you. Because the first time I ever met you, I walked through the door and I feel like you were playing that joint. Do you remember that moment?
I don't. I remember it was Hip Hop Meets Poetry with Mbaharu hosting.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't remember what I was playing though.
Mbaharu, another New Brunswick legend. So, and since that time, I've seen you pretty much in every spot in New Brunswick since DJing. Literally.
There was a hot minute that I was doing a lot of the open mic events all over, like cross Jersey, Patterson, Passaic, Hackensack. So there was a minute where that was all I was doing. It was a bunch of open mics.
I don't know if there's any other DJ that I know personally that has been DJing in New Brunswick more than you for like the last like 15, 20 years.
Nah, they Absurd. There's definitely a lot.
I mean, I know Absurd has been killing it. Yeah. But besides him, it's like you and a couple other cats.
Yeah, there's a handful of us that's, I haven't done Brunswick in a minute, I ain't gonna lie.
What makes you keep the love for it and to keep doing it?
The DJ aspect, I think what pushes me for DJing nowadays, I like sharing music, and typically I don't like playing the same old, I don't like having the same playlist other DJs have. So a lot of DJs, they have a tendency to do like throwbacks, and that's cool to incorporate it with new shit though, not just, or another thing that they do is only play new shit. So I try to mix not just the old and new, but also the genres.
So do you feel there's enough new good hip hop nowadays?
Never enough good. It's never enough. But do I feel like there's still hip hop now? They currently coming out? Definitely.
I seen a DJ say the other day he's not putting out his weekly playlist because he hasn't gotten enough dope hip hop, and I didn't know what to think about that.
No, there's definitely dope music out there, but it's definitely you having to set yourself out to search for it rather than it coming.
So it's the same as it's always been.
Nah, I think when you look at early hip hop into like mid to late 90s, almost everything coming out was solid. People had solid albums that you can rock straight through.
Right.
Once you started getting into like late 90s, early 2000s, you have to remember the shift, the change of sound and sense of hip hop, and you had to adapt to it whether or not you liked it, and then you would go through albums and be like, that didn't really vibe with me, but this one song did.
I feel that's true, but I also feel like there was a whole time when people were complaining about there was nothing on the radio for the same reasons. Like the whole shiny suit era.
But there you go. You have to. What's your source of what's your source of
radio?
Introducing yourself to music.
Commercial radio.
And there's where the problem.
Hence your point.
Now, when you start talking about commercial hip hop, is there enough commercial hip hop? Definitely not. Definitely. Right. That's why I'm saying you can never have enough hip hop nowadays.
So with commercial hip hop, running rampant, doing this thing like we've always known. You are coming out with this joint called Sunny Side Up, which is damn near the opposite of what we're getting on commercial hip hop radio. As a DJ, like what makes you do that? Like,
my aim with what I do a lot is nostalgia. Like, I want people to remember how dope it was to have. Like when you look at certain artists, for example, you have Big Daddy Kane, who had hard songs but still had danceable music. You had LL Cool J, hard songs, still danceable music, had love tracks, Heavy D. You had heads like Redman who would switch up the flow, Busta Rhymes switching up the flow, like you know what I mean. So you have a list of artists out there that that either presented a solid stream of style
Right.
that you can always rock to,
Right.
or you had artists that would switch it up on you.
Right.
And I think that's what my aim, because you have artists nowadays that do switch it up for you, but they don't present that consciousness of thought into their music.
They absolutely don't, and not only that, I feel like when artists do that, they don't get pushed on the radio.
Yeah.
And I suppose I don't know. Nowadays, I personally don't listen to the radio like that. Do you?
Nah, I got a playlist of like 8,000 songs or more on my phone. Not just I'll do that.
Yeah, when I'm skipping through FM radio, I probably stay on for like a minute. Every now and again, I get a Sirius XM 3-month subscription, then I cancel it quickly after that. But besides that, it's just and I hate to say it, but like Spotify, fam. And the reason I hate to say it is because, you know, artists are out here getting.
I appreciate.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I appreciate how Spotify does introduce music. You know, it's an algorithm will see what you listen to and be like, oh, check this shit out. I appreciate that aspect of it.
Right.
But when it comes to paying back the artists, it's just like.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It feels like they have a bit of a monopoly. And there's two ways to go about it. You either don't put your music on there and then hope that your fans just go buy it off your Bandcamp. But I know a lot of times people want the convenience of the platform they listen to it on. I know I like the convenience of what I listen to it on. So it's like, what are you going to do?
Right.
I feel like they're taking out the artists across the board.
Yeah. I definitely feel that when it comes to, you have to look at yourself as an artist and decide what's your avenue and what's your aim. If you just want your music to get out there, then yeah, rock with it. But if you want to, I don't want to say have integrity. I want to say like if you're willing to give up some of your integrity,
yeah,
then or not willing rather, then you know obviously that's not the way to go.
Right. I was definitely always the type of guy that I wasn't trying to sacrifice any integrity, but I feel like that has cost me getting further.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you would sacrifice some integrity to get a bit further?
I think in this day and time you have to, in order to achieve. Because as a DJ, I think that was one of the things that was stunting my growth. Is that whole like early 2000 to mid, I would have to say to like probably like 2013. I was just like, I'm not playing that. I just won't.
Right.
You know, but I feel like in order to achieve something nowadays, you have to give in one way or another. Obviously, you know, it's a matter of the extreme that you loosen your belt on. But at the end of the day, you do have to figure out what's your best way to go about it.
You know,
that definitely has stunted my growth. I realized that, and not that I necessarily realized that now. I realized it then. I just didn't care.
I agree. I feel like I've learned that there's all different types of ways to grow. Back then, I was only trying to grow in the most organic, loving way. But then, there does come to a point where it's like, I want to keep doing the art, but if my kids' jeans have holes in them and they want a new bike,
exactly.
And like daddy's car needs a new alternator, it's like, what am I really doing this for? Like, right. I want to do this for my legacy, and my legacy is my family, and if I can't support my family with what I love, then what am I really doing?
Exactly.
And that, when I kind of realized that, for me it was a real big slap in the face. So how do you deal with that?
I think that's one of the main reasons why, song-wise, I switch it up. You know what I mean? So that I do have a playlist that I can rock at a family event versus a hip hop event. You know?
Right.
And even when I promote, I try not to cross my promotions because family people, they don't care to hear that hardcore shit.
Right.
Hardcore people, they don't care to hear that family
Right.
friendly shit. So and they'll and you can easily nowadays you can easily turn people off. Oh, he's doing that, and that's another thing. You know, hip hop has gotten this stigma of being so hard and so rugged that even the industry has kind of steered away from it. And unless it fits a certain genre or not, shouldn't say genre, a certain criteria that they want to fit, you're not. It's hard to break into that with what you're doing.
Right.
And I think that's why when you listen to the radio, you're not getting that full hip hop sound.
You make me think of a strong point today. So you said what if you fit into the criteria they want, and then the big thing on the internet right now is Killer Mike. Killer Mike won the Grammys. He won like 3, swept it, and then you know what I'm saying. That's what they try to do to my man. They try to be like,
Yo,
but big up Killer Mike. But which made me think, well, damn, there's a lot of people on the internet saying, oh, I've never heard Killer Mike, he's a plant. And I was like, I definitely know Killer Mike, Run the Jewels. He been doing this thing, even before that. But sometimes albums even that big slip past me. Like, they just slip past me. So I was like, yo, this guy got album of the year. I've never heard it. I love hip-hop. So just today, I started playing the joint. And the first track on the album, they probably said the word nigga about 100 times. And so I heard that the Grammys, they do it by what they feel is the best song, not by what's most popular, but the criteria, the people. And track number 1, I heard the word nigga like 100 times, and I'm sure Killer Mike has a great message, but it didn't gel well with me. Because I was thinking the people who are running the Grammys, they don't even mess with hip hop like that. But that's the song like. I don't want to play that in front of my daughter. I don't want to play it in. It was just the thought of, you said the people doing the criteria and the Grammy people are doing the criteria for us to get past, but that's what they're allowing.
Right.
It's just suspicious.
The whole setup to me, I look at it as Halle Berry and Denzel Washington. Halle Berry didn't get that Oscar until she got fucked that way. Denzel has a fucking record. For him to get an Oscar for Training Day was kind of like, like you kind of have to take your wins with your losses. Kind of, it was like,
right.
But I'm gonna say I'm a huge Killer Mike fan, but I've definitely been rooting for him since he came out with Outkast. And I think one of the first songs solo wise that made me feel like, yo, he's gonna hit motherfuckers was the song called Run with Young Thug on it. Like, my wife, out of all people, she ended up loving the song.
Word.
And I was like, yo, when he did the Run the Jewels project the first time around, I was like, ooh, that was something I didn't expect because, one, you're talking about a New York head with a Southerner. You know what I mean? That's a rare combination to begin with right there.
Right.
And then you're talking about LP with his fucking underground sound with Killer Mike.
Right.
And when you hear or think of Killer Mike at that time frame, you're thinking of, maybe the shit he did with Outkast and Dungeon Family and shit like that. So the combination just fucking worked.
Right. I see what you're saying, and I agree wholeheartedly. But shout out to them brothers.
Yes.
I got the Company Flow vinyl behind me. Shout out to LP. But so how I know you're a father, 11 dad. How do you convey hip hop to your children? How do you give it to your children? Do you push hip hop on your children? Do your children like a certain type of hip hop? Do you care what type of hip hop they like? Like, what's that type of relationship like?
All right, I got 5 kids, yo. So there is definitely. I would have to say with my first child, my daughter. Not that I pushed her into it, but I would just, I guess I still do that. I play what I play If they vibe to it, they vibe to it. But now that my kids have gotten older, I kind of vibe off of them and still incorporate what I listen to, with what they listen to.
Right.
Like my oldest daughter, she's trying to be a DJ as well.
Oh yeah, dope.
Yeah. And but her thing is K-pop nowadays.
Ah.
So I'm like, I try to remind her like, yo, you can't play K-pop, and she doesn't necessarily spin K-pop as much as she does pop music. So she's really big on the pop music when she spins, and I'm like, yo, you got to remember to switch it up. Not everybody cares for that. But like my second oldest, my stepdaughter.
Wait. Does she have a DJ name?
She prefers DJ Saray, which is her middle name.
Shout out to DJ Saray.
But on my scene, everybody call her DJ Maisha.
Okay, DJ Maisha.
Yeah.
She got time to figure it out.
Yeah, she'll figure it out. Because she definitely was going back and forth with the name. But my stepdaughter, who's my second oldest, she definitely is more intrigued about learning about the artists, learning the different genres. My oldest son, he dabbles. I think he swings back and forth into like late 90s, early 2000s, and definitely trap.
So the good stuff.
Yeah, but he's definitely into that drill, like that ignorant drill nowadays. And I'm just like, okay. I try to make him mindful, like, you're talking about, or you're playing people that have committed like hardcore crimes.
Right.
No,
that's right.
Yeah, and it was bothering me at first because he had a TikTok account, and he didn't put his picture up. He put on I forget what the artist name was, but Money Got a Record. And when I mean record, I'm not talking about music.
Oh man!
So I'm just like, you got to be mindful what you're trying to promote. That's not you. You're gonna have to take that down. And I'm definitely big on like being mindful. Like, I don't mind my kids listening to curse words. I don't mind my kids cursing. But now when they start crossing that line of cursing at people, that's when we have an issue.
Gotcha. I understand.
Like, you stub your toe and you say shit, okay. But now if you're like, fuck you, piece of, no, we can't do that. We can't.
Gotcha. I can dig it.
And my kids have gotten to that level where they can control that, None of my kids, my oldest hates cursing. Everybody else, they curse, but only when necessary. And I appreciate that.
Gotcha.
Though they still get into that little kid phase of calling each other names, and I try to correct that. I think they're still very respectful on not cursing at each other.
Gotcha.
And I appreciate that heavy.
Nice. Speaking of your children, and kind of segueing into you as a kid, what do you think your earliest musical influences were?
We lived with my grandmother, who lived with her kids, and so my uncles and aunts, they were listening to a lot of like salsa, merengue, freestyle, hip hop, reggae. As I got older, my musical influence more so came from my oldest brother and my middle brother. My oldest brother was more of a rock head. My middle brother, he would sneak out to the club, so he'll come back with house music and club music. But out of all the genres that I grew up with, what I gravitated to the most was hip hop. And then as I got older, I started gravitating more towards jazz and funk.
Do you have a favorite jazz or funk artist?
Alice Coltrane for jazz, always. Funk, I don't think I got a favorite funk.
George Clinton from Jersey?
I can't say he's my favorite.
I always go with the Jersey guys. It's just me. It could be swimming on TV or water polo. I'm like, is there someone from Jersey? That's just how I do. What do you feel, as Sunny Side Up, to me, is a very important song. What do you feel is like one of the most important songs in hip hop?
I would have to say The Message. and it might sound cliche, but I think at that time frame, the message that he was getting across,
Right.
you know, a lot of people related to.
Right.
And it carried the environment that it came from with it. You know, whereas hip hop prior to that, you know, was mostly about partying. Or you have Planet Rock, and though people loved it, it wasn't something that their life could relate to right away. You know what I mean? So I think the message was a very important piece of material that we all gravitated to.
Gotcha. Well, what do you hope people can take away from Sunny Side Up?
The recognition that the problems that were of yesterday have affected us today, but on a deeper level. Like
Right.
it's like, yeah, we cut ourselves yesterday, but that scar's a lot deeper now.
Right.
You know, like the arrogance behind crime today stems from the drug use and the gangs of back then.
Right.
And the same goes with music. Matter of fact, you know, when hip hop was coming about all the way up into the early '90s, we didn't see the harm in what we were saying, but what ended up happening is you had people steering that narrative now. So now they're like, oh, that's what you want to rhyme about? Well, you know what? Let's keep you there. And now that music, and you know, it's the whole context of art reflects life, life reflects art.
Right.
It's a cycle. So I think when it comes to the music, it's just such a, I don't know how to say it, like it's such a damaging thing nowadays. Because now as an adult I see what like people were frowning upon in my music that I used to listen to. Like, you know, when you listen to NWA at the time, you're like, yeah, that's NWA. That, you know, they're just reflecting what it is.
Right.
And that's still true today.
Right.
But musically, even those artists have evolved out of that, the sound kept evolving into it. If that makes any sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. That's a bar. That's a bar. Where do you see the music going in like, say, 10, 15 years?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think, you know, when I hear certain artists come out, I like when I hear like Earth Gang coming out, like I'm proud of that. Like, to me, that's at the end of the day, at its core, that's hip hop. Right. You know? But they're still not getting the same amount of play as a Nicki Minaj.
Right.
So like I said before, like hip hop's still out there, you know. Whether it gets that mainstream push, I don't see that happening. I do, however, see, even like especially when you go out on the scenes, you see the thrive of hip hop continuing.
Right.
You know, but if you're behind closed doors and you're just listening to that radio, watching that flicker, you ain't gonna see that.
Not at all. Or you'll see a watered down version.
Exactly.
That's not the real version. You made some very good points, my friend.
Thank you. I try.
So what's next for you after Sunny Side Up? You hitting them with another?
Yeah, I'm trying to. A lot of the stuff I had put out prior to Sunny Side Up was really mainly to show my friendlier side and my diversity. The stuff I have lined up, except for maybe like one joint, is definitely more on a energetic vibe, harder, definitely more hip hop oriented. But I got a couple of tracks lined up.
Dope.
We'll see where it goes.
And are you doing the album or just dropping the singles?
Just dropping singles, bro.
And why are you doing that? What's the thought process behind that?
I feel like when it comes to albums, it should have a constant mind feel vibe to it, you know? And it's okay to switch it up, but it's just like that narrative for me, may switch up where it doesn't. Like I said, like I have a playlist for family. I have a playlist for the,
Right.
so like trying to push all those songs together just wouldn't sound right to me.
Right. I got you.
So individually, they work alone.
Yeah. I can dig it. Nowadays, it seems like that might be the new way, dropping singles instead of albums. I think you might be on something.
And I think also one of the things we steered away from as artists is if it can't be a single, why are you doing it?
Right. I like that.
So, like a lot of times, with a lot of these albums, and to me, that's one of the things that hurt hip hop was you had artists coming out with these albums and half the album was good, the other half was trash.
Right.
And you would have people that, but you got to listen to what they didn't put out, or people just, just listen to what they put out. And it shouldn't be like that. It's like, if I'm putting it out, this is what's dope, this is what's hitting. But a lot of artists weren't doing that. So it killed the vibe of hip hop where, like I said, stuff was dropping, almost everything was hard, everything was hitting.
Right.
Nowadays, you can't say that.
Word. I see what you're saying. So we can't expect the album, but we can expect single after single after single.
Indeed.
I can appreciate that. So, besides, getting on the mic, are you producing any cats coming up, or?
I actually steered away from production. Mm-hmm. My environment has not allowed me to get into it, in context of family wise and space wise. But I'm sitting on a library. So what I've been doing was actually Sunny Side Up is actually something I did produce. It's an old beat. It had to be from like before 2015.
Okay.
So it is an old beat.
It's a dope beat.
Appreciate it. There are even songs that I haven't even released with artists.
To the Lost Tapes.
Yeah. And like I got a joint with Shabam Shadiq I've been wanting to put out. There's actually almost finished project with JR that'll be never put out. It's like four tracks. And we were supposed to put it out as an EP. And Vast Air, we got Vast Air on one of the joints. I recently reached out to them and to see what we can do with that, at least that one joint, because that joint was phenomenal.
Hopefully the people get a chance to hear that, man.
We'll see where everything goes.
Iris got some things.
Trying.
Some things.
Yeah. So I have also been trying to release some of that here and there, just obviously not with that much of a push that I used to push it before.
Gotcha.
But we'll see. Like my heart and my mind focus isn't there right now,
Gotcha. It's all good. I've learned that we don't have to reach the top of the mountain in one day.
Indeed.
We are the mountain, my friend.
There you go.
When does Sunny Side Up drop, and where can the people get it when it drops?
I'm still trying to figure out whether or not we're gonna go through that Spotify channel. But yeah, I think we just might. The point was made by you, which was allowing DJs to have access to it easiest way possible, as well as the people.
Right.
So yeah, we probably will go with like all major platforms. It's supposed to release next month sometime. I forget when. I think the 8th.
March 8th.
March 8th. There you go.
Where can people find you on social media?
Iris Nymphlum, DJ Iris, spelled IRS. Iris Alex. Everything spelled IRS. So that's all my Facebook, my TikTok, I believe, and my Instagram.
Word. Yo, give it up for one more time for DJ Iris in the building, man. Yeah. So yo, my name is Cymarshall Law. This has been an episode of your Cymarshall Law Show. Thanks again for DJ Iris for coming through. Be on the lookout for his new single, Sunny Side Up. We'll see you next time. Peace, love, and positive energy. And we out like that.
All right, world.
Peace.